California college campuses, there are plaques on the wall. But in Judaism, there's the notion of charity, of tzedakah, is that you give anonymously, because it should be about the giving and the benefits received by the people you're helping, rather than the benefits you would receive by being known as the person who gave. Right. So, and I'm a big fan of that. I think charity should be anonymous. In some cases, I get it. It helps if you're an organization and you are promoting the fact that, yes, we are giving money to this and we do all these good works. Kind of, if you don't mind, take notice of what we're doing. And if you want to throw us some money to keep the good work going, great. But on an individual level, except when it comes to campaign contributions, then I want to know every goddamn detail about who you are and what you're trying to buy with your money.
Yeah, I think there's sort of two schools of thoughts about corporation donations, and that I think some of the time, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that some of the time I think they want to contribute on whether you contribute to the right or to left organizations, because you want your consumer base to know what kind of organization. Like Hobby Lobby is very vocal about the fact that we are supporting conservative motherfucking values. No gays.
Not as vocal about the fact that they, owned a bunch of looted Iraqi artifacts and relics.
But that's not a campaign donation. That's just that's amassing wealth.
Right.
That's a whole different
I'm just
thing.
saying the whole
Democrat,
PR.
This belongs in a museum.
Because a left-leaning corporation could do the same thing and acquire a bunch of stolen shit, and that wouldn't really matter. So it's but a Hobby Lobby is we contribute to the fucking Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints or whatever the fuck they do, and
we only cater from Chick-fil-A,
because they want those things to be known. And then you have a company like General Mills, who is no, we're actually much more liberal leaning, and we want you to know that we support interracial marriage, we support gay marriage, and we're not only going to show it in our campaign donations, we're going to show it to you in our marketing, we're going to show it to you in all these different types of ways. Because Cheerios, if you famously was one of the first, is the first company I think to ever show an interracial couple in one of their commercials. Now you see it every fucking where. I saw a Wayfair commercial with a Chinese guy and a black wife, and I was like, what the goddamn fuck? So and Walmart even did it. Walmart had a Chinese man and a black wife preparing food while they listened to fucking Flow Rider. Right. So,
although this is, God, I guess late '90s. I'll just say I knew someone who worked for Target corporate, and in one of their Sunday circular ads, they were, selling leotards or, yoga pants or something, and they were on sale. And so there was a picture of a woman sitting in the lotus position, wearing whatever they were selling and sitting on whatever they were selling. And they actually got complaints from right-wing Christians saying that by having this woman in their advertising,
doing a yoga pose,
they are promoting Eastern religions.
Well, the thing I like about Target is they're a huge corporate retail organization like any other, but they sort of position themselves as sort of the anti-Walmart with their gender inclusive bathrooms and their gender inclusive hiring policies and their gender non-inclusive toy section, where it's if you go to a Walmart, even in Van Nuys, where it's a bunch of Catholic Mexicans, all the toys are all mixed up. So you got Barbie right next to Star Wars, and I love it. It's I love it. I was going to
say, you want to segregate the toys? Is this what this country is coming to?
And toys.
Well, they're one of the only actual toy manufacturers that does that, though. That mixes them all up. Retailers that actually mixes them up.
They mix them up. They literally they have them organized now by type of toy as opposed to gender of toy. So you have all the puzzles together, because it used to be and if you go to a Walmart, you'll notice a difference, because I have been in a Walmart fairly recently. If you want to buy a puzzle that has Barbie on it, you have to go to the girls section and look in the girls puzzle section. Whereas in Walmart, it's just all the puzzles are here, all the action figures and dolls are here, all the masks and shit are here, all the interactive toys are here, all the Legos are in one section. So it's right next to a star. You can build a Millennium Falcon or you can build a Barbie Dream House out of Legos, and they're both right next to each other.
Just in terms of retail, real estate, and it seems more logical to have everything. And it actually makes your store more
organized, because all you have to do is be my kid wants a puzzle. Now, what kind of fucking puzzle do you want? Do you want Barbie? Do you want goddamn Guardians of the Galaxy? What do you want? And it does make it more easier. And you know what? I see a lot less meltdowns at Target than I do at Walmart because you don't have kids like not being able to find the toy they want to play with. And you have brothers and sisters and cousins all playing together in the same section of a toy section, whereas like, you don't have all the girls going one way and all the boys going another way. I think it's just it introduces kids to different types of toys. It makes more sense all together. And I think it makes, you looking for jigsaw puzzles? All the jigsaw puzzles are on aisle 10. Not aisle 10 and aisle 11 because aisle 10 is boys and aisles.
Jigsaw puzzles? Do people?
Well, the jigsaw puzzles are still housed in the toy section.
Yeah, I see more older people doing it. Yeah,
I'm a jigsaw puzzle addict.
Yeah, a woman have like they take the big cardboard piece.
And the only reason why I don't do them more is that we don't have a big table like this one doing that in our house.
Most jigsaw puzzles should be a lady with 57 fucking cats.
No,
that should be what you make when you put all the pieces down. Like I'm missing a.
As soon as Ed and I move to a bigger apartment, he's gonna see a jigsaw placing motherfucker over in this bitch.
I am
like,
did
I marry?
Dude, nah. In our last apartment, she set up a fucking jigsaw puzzle on this table, and it took up the whole fucking room.
Yeah.
No thanks.
It's gonna happen.
Nope. It's not gonna happen.
You have no choice.
I will literally kick your fucking puzzle apart.
You can play NBA 2K while I do my fucking jigsaw puzzle. How about you just let a motherfucker live?
No.
While you play NBA 2K until 7 in the morning.
Battle of the sexes.
We got to do a fucking a puzzle of a bunch of kids being detained.
I'm gonna do a puzzle of you playing NBA 2K until 7 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
They said that people playing video games is that now.
It's video game addiction is now a diagnosable mental. Health
everything's
condition.
a goddamn addiction. I'm goddamn tired of this shit. Everything's a fucking addiction. You're a big fat ass. You must got a fucking food addiction. Oh, you like to fuck bitches? You a sex addict. Get the fuck out of here, man. I think nuts.
Those are all symptoms.
Nuts. I'm sorry. This is nuts. Oh, you like to do something fun for hours at a time? Hell yeah, I do. I'm a basketball addict. I'm a motherfucking joystick addict.
They said that all of those things take a long-term toll on your physical health, and I think they are all part of a larger problem of overall depression. And I think you need to fucking isolate those problems.
You know what takes a toll on your health? Going to some fucking foreign country so you can floss on Instagram helping some fucker that can't read. That's an addiction too. I'm addicted to being needed by third world motherfuckers.
There is a category for that. There's a couple of different ones. There's Munchausen syndrome.
Yeah,
which is an addiction to wanting pity.
I have no doubt one of these goddamn missionaries is teaching some kid how to read, but in a fucked up way. Like it's like, this dude don't know what E's are. Still, I guess I got to stay here for another few months. You know what I'm saying? Stacking money.
They don't stack any money. That's the one thing they don't do is stack money.
Yeah, whatever, dog.
They don't.
This has been another episode of Cynical Ed. I don't believe in shit. I think, I just got to say, this is the symptom of what happens when we have a truth-free, fact-free society. You get people who, like, I believe I'm some kind of intellectual giant half the time. But you know what is an intellectual giantism? Is cynicism. Just relentless fucking cynicism is not actually intelligent. But I've been forced into thinking that everything's big fakeroony, and that's kind of what's happening to the people in this country. People, I call it the narrative syndrome. You know what I'm saying? It's become all about narrative. Like I did a tweet. It was like person 1, I believe water is wet and the earth is round. Person 2, oh, you bought into the water narrative, have you? You know what I mean? It's just like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
There's got to be
the liberal water media has you believing
the world is flat, bro.
Yeah, big water done got you, huh? You sponsored by big water?
Yeah, that's just big Earth talking.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the chick who we thought was cool was like, oh, you've just been in LA too long. I'm like, bitch, first of all, I grew up in San Francisco. So let me get that straight. In the 80s and the 90s, before it was taken over by tech. And it became a fucking bashing of just ridiculous new wealth.
Are you guys battling Republican comedians too, or no?
No, I've deleted most of those except for like 2. Brian Day.
I think that's a contradiction in terms.
No, it's not because are these Republican comedians also funny?
No, But that's what I'm saying. Right wing comedian is military intelligence is what jumbo shrimp, it's oxymoronic. You know what I mean? No, they're never.
Are you with Pat Labario? Are you with Pat? Okay.
I have three.
No,
I have three probably like sort of self-identifying Republican or conservative comedians that are still in my friend list, and it's mostly because one is actually not that bad. You know who I'm talking about. The other two, one is an absolute abject like moron. Even if he was a Democrat, he would still be the stupidest person ever. And the other one is so ridiculous that it's almost hilarious because he's Mexican and grew up poor and he's only first generation, but he married a rich white girl and all of a sudden now he's a conservative.
Yeah, he went full Kanye.
Yeah, he went full.
He went full Kanye.
He makes Kanye look like one of like Tupac Shakur's stepdad.
Well, me and my friend, I was talking to my buddy Chris, and I coined this term. Those Mexican dudes who really want to break their back to support a bunch of conservative values and shit, and be really mean to Mexican immigrants and stuff like that. I call them Uncle Tomases.
Yeah. Because also, he changed his name from Brian Dominguez to Brian Day. So.
And now you're gonna have to edit that out, unless you want him to get a bunch of pub. Jesus,
put it in there.
Anyway, Jesus, free pub for people who suck. Good job. Anyway,
man, fuck that dude. I hope he gets.
Yeah, you have a free pub though. That's what I'm saying. It's free pub. Anyway, I'm sorry.
It's free pub unless it's bad Yelp reviews.
Anyway.
Speaking of bad Yelp reviews, Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
I know that's still the best thing.
Yeah, it's we only have a few minutes, so let's close on a happy note. Kristen Nielsen. Well, Jesus Christ! I mean, you spend your week. We were talking about the First Lady's jacket before. You spend your week defending putting Mexican and South American children into prison camps, and then. What do you guys feel like getting for lunch? Mexican? No, don't. You don't do that. That's
I want a wet burrito, bitch.
Oh Jesus! I mean, how fucking tone deaf do you have to be? But I'm sure by the time you're hearing this episode, you will know that Sarah Huckabee Sanders and 7 members of her family got kicked out of a restaurant in Virginia
Red Hen. Go eat there.
And what I love, and this is kind of the same thing we heard when Samantha Bee called Ivanka Trump a feckless cunt. This is Mike Huckabee, the father of the press secretary, said, "Well, these people are bigots." No, that's not how bigotry works. They hate your daughter. They hate what she stands for.
They don't hate her for who she is.
Job.
They hate her for what she stands
for.
But
I'm sure if you were to look around the restaurant last night, there would have been plenty of other white chicks. Yeah. And I'm sure hefty people of any other race. Yeah. So not bigoted, but and this kind of gets into what Ed was saying, with not everything is an addiction. We are a society of victims. And it used to be more of a liberal thing, but it's hilarious to me. I mean, in the sad way of hilarious, but these conservatives who delighted in calling, liberals tender, delicate snowflakes, they're the ones now who are whining so much and, we got kicked out of a restaurant. You guys are bigots. And it misses the whole point entirely, but they just want to be victims. It's fuck gluten free. There are people with celiac disease. I get it. But you know what? If you're trying to lose a couple pounds, that doesn't make you gluten intolerant. Stop being such a pain in the ass in the restaurant.
There's a difference in the way that sort of liberals, quote unquote, were labeled themselves as victims versus what Republicans are now labeling themselves as victims. Because liberals, when they label themselves as a quote unquote victim, which is actually a terminology that most people who are of that don't even use anymore to describe their oppression, it's because of things we cannot help. Our gender, our race, our sexual orientation, our gender identity. All those things are things you can't help. You can't change that by changing your mind or changing your outlook. I can't suddenly become
you can
a white.
Pray it away.
Yeah, I can't suddenly become But I can't suddenly become a white person or a man just because because I say I'm now a white person or a man. If my gender identity is different, I might feel like a man on the inside, but that doesn't make me a man until I, you know what I mean? Like,
but what if I'm a natural born piece of shit? I'm a natural born piece of shit, and I can't help it.
If it's a mental illness.